Unless you've been living under a rock, you will have no doubt heard the unfortunate news that the car you're looking at right now, the Porsche 919 Hybrid, is going away for the 2018 World Endurance Championship, as Porsche has cut the funding to the program to focus on a Formula E factory team in the year 2019. Now, for a racing fan such as myself, this is quite unfortunate, as the Formula E series, while I think it has some value, and I think it does have a place in the future of motorsport, is not really the most interesting, or in my mind, legitimate form of motorsport in the world at the moment. And it's unfortunate that it took away from what I believe is the cutting-edge, pioneering class in motorsport at the moment, which is LMP1H. Now, of course, there are the complaints, and fairly legitimate ones, about the LMP1H category, such as cost and sustainability and whatnot. But ultimately, LMP1H does not have silly things such as fan boost, Mickey Mouse street circuits, and the class is certainly not spec like Formula E. Those are just a few of the things that I would change in Formula E, by the way, but that's another video for another time. What we're focusing on today is, again, the LMP1H category, and we're going to do a little bit of a tribute to the fabulous Porsche 919 Hybrid, which is a triple Le Mans winner, winning it first in 2015, 2016, and most recently in 2017. You may notice that there are also GT cars out on the circuit, because we are doing a multi-class race here at the Spielberg Red Bull Ring, or A1 Ring, or whatever you want to call it. It has about 100 names, like most racing circuits do these days. The World Endurance Championship doesn't actually race here, but the fact that it's a fairly short circuit, and the fact that the LMP1 cars are so fast around this track, it makes for a chaotic and exciting multi-class race. So sit back, relax, and enjoy LMP1 in all of its glory. So looking at the starting grid, I think the game may have glitched a little bit, because you may notice that in amongst the LMP1 hybrids, we've got James Calado, who has put together perhaps the greatest motorsport lap that has ever been turned by putting a Ferrari 458 GT2 in on the front row of the grid. Not sure how that happened, but it did. So, that's going to be very interesting. So I guess the pole sitter in GT2 is alongside the pole sitter in P1, which is me. I'm kind of surprised I took the pole position. Generally, the AI are pretty fast, especially in the hybrid P1 cars. But as you can notice, there are 5 P1s made up of the 919s from 2016 and 2015. And then throughout the rest of the field, you've got the Corvettes, Porsches, and Ferraris, and one BMW from the GT2 class. So let's get into it. Let's get started. Let's get racing here at the Red Bull Ring and see who is going to send the Porsche 919 off with glory. So here we are on the grid, ready to go here in Austria. I'm going to set the hybrid up into the hot lap mode, because you can get an amazing start, and the Ferrari behind has crashed. And then I almost crashed by going wide at the first turn. Gonna put the hybrid system into high preserve here, just to change it up a little bit. If I run, I can theoretically run on the hot lap setting the entire time. Whoa, and we've gone off the track at the hairpin, and we've lost that position to Brendan Hartley. But look at the hybrid boost catching us up there. Couldn't nowhere really to go, though. I could have stuffed it down the inside of Hartley, but that was not happening. Just behind is Romain Dumas, then Neil Johnny, and then Nick Tandy bringing up the rear of the P1 class at the moment. You can see, don't have a very good view of the apex when the car is steering. As we get on the power here, behind Hartley, and just not able to. Whoa! Whoa, Mr. Hartley, why are you so slow in that corner? Again on the hybrid boost. Now you'll notice on the steering wheel, there's a blue bar and a yellow bar. The blue bar is the amount of hybrid battery life I have. And the yellow bar is how much KERS I have to use, which is kinetic energy recovery, to use throughout the lap, which comes from the battery, which is charged by a flywheel in the car. Part of LMP1H racing that's so cool is that you have to conserve energy throughout the race. And even to the amount of laps you have to conserve the energy that your car produces. Now, on a short circuit like Spielberg here, you can pretty much run the hot lap setting the whole time because the battery will be able to charge throughout the lap because there's a lot of heavy braking, and it's a short circuit, so you won't run your battery out by the time you get to the end of the lap. It's kind of a perfect balance. So I've switched it up into the hot lap setting because I really want to try to get back by Hartley here. And we got a big run down into this main straightaway, but didn't give me any boost down the main straightaway to actually pull up and pass Hartley. Now we qualified in the 16s. And you can see the fastest lap of the race right now is a 19 from Brendan Hartley. Of course, what I did was I was, had a clear track, was running the hot lap boost. And it's amazing how much of a difference that can make. But just look, we had hybrid boost there. Oh, and Hartley locks the brakes a little bit, heading into the downhill right-hander there. Couldn't quite get around him though. That's kind of the difficult thing. Where do you pass a guy? Of course, remember, lap traffic is going to come into play, I would imagine, pretty soon, because it is just such a fast track here. That's why I have the lap set to 22. Ooh, I thought about stuffing it in there, but I didn't really think that was a passing zone. And as you can see, I completely blew the corner, so clearly it wasn't, because I would have had an absolutely enormous crash had I tried to stick it in underneath Hartley there on the throttle. No hybrid boost up the hill. Wish it'd give me some. And now we get some. Getting a big run on Hartley as he set a 118. I brake a little bit early, probably way too early in fact. And actually lose time to Hartley there. Okay, I'm going to get aggressive here in the corners. There's absolutely no reason to be driving like such a sissy, especially when I was absolutely nailing everything in qualifying. Okay, I can make up some time here. Of course, there's a lot of trust that goes into that, because you're trusting, well, now that the tires have warmed up, you don't have to nearly put in as much steering input. But when you've got a fist in front of your face, it's kind of hard to see where you're going. I catch Hartley here again. I probably could have stuffed it in there, but look at me run wide. David, stop doing that, for the love of God. Well, I had a little bit of hybrid boost off of the final corner. As we cross the start-finish line, we get a replenishment. But the delivery system doesn't want to give it to me until here, which is interesting. Going up kind of the second straightaway. I almost call it the back straightaway, but this corner right here is more, or this straight right here is more the back straightaway. I ran that curb a little too hard on the outside, kind of killed my exit, and it also kind of killed my hybrid energy. Down the back straightaway, a little bit of brake lockup. Hartley was locking up the brakes, and now I'm locking up the brakes down through there. Keeping it right, neat and tidy next to the curb. On the curbing on the exit. Car sliding just a little bit. I am on an Xbox controller too, which is interesting. Oh, here we go. Hang on. And there we go. Nope. 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 Oh, I had to lock the brakes up. Hartley goes wide. Wow, that was wheel-to-wheel stuff there. To steal a quote from James Hunt, the old Formula One commentary. That was so nice. As I get way out next to the curb, that was definitely maximum attack through there. But yeah, I'm on an Xbox controller, and it's kind of funny because the hybrid P1 cars are maybe the nicest cars to drive with an Xbox controller in Assetto Corsa. Oh, as I completely make a muppet out of myself there, and almost lost the position to Romain Dumas. Thankfully, he did not pull the pass off, and so we'll continue in the lead. We're on lap 6, so we still got a ways to go here. Lock the brakes up a little bit more now. I'm just pushing too hard. And here we go, GT traffic. This is going to be interesting, because generally the AI are not very good in Assetto Corsa with passing AI. We'll see how it happens. It's apparently something they're fixing, and have already fixed on the PC version of Assetto, but not on the console version. There's Hartley, and we got him in the traffic as he struggles behind a BMW. He passed the Corvette, but could not pass the BMW. So we pull up into the lead. We start working through the Ferraris. I had to be very careful through there, because I didn't know what that Ferrari was going to do. And the problem is, you always hear it on broadcasts, as I had to lock the brakes up to not hit that Ferrari there, is that GT cars sometimes are able to get into the corners better than the prototypes can. So eventually the braking zones kind of even out, and it gets a little bit hairy. But I was able to get through the traffic quite well there. Got around the car I assigned to Ricky Taylor. That's painted like a Viper, ironically enough. Well, we've gotten around the lap traffic, and it looks like we may be free and clear of the rest of the P1 cars, because they got skedaddled by the GTs. Is skedaddle even... is that even English? I don't think it is. Well, regardless, we're now well out in front of this race. So I guess it'll give me some opportunity to talk about, again, what I was talking about right before we got to the GTs, which was the fact that this car is so easy to drive, so nice to drive with an Xbox controller. Though I do wonder how fast I would be with it when I get a proper wheel. But right now, it's so nice to drive. And that's funny because in like Forza or Project Cars, the P1H cars are undrivable with a controller. They feel like they're just constantly trying to kill you. This car is just so perfectly balanced. It's a joy. It's a joy to drive. Even though yesterday I tried to record this video by doing a race on the Nürburgring, not the Nordschleife, but the GP circuit. That was decidedly more difficult. It's a much more technical circuit than Austria. And I may have to revisit that when I get a proper wheel. But, yeah. Supposedly, as well, we're getting the Toyota and the Audi. Again, it's already out on PC, but we're going to have more P1s to play with eventually. So I'm not holding my breath because of the fact that Assetto Corsa has been really bad with the updates on Xbox One, and unfortunately I have this game on Xbox One. So, this car is pretty much a spaceship, as I kind of established in the opening. 1,000 horsepower between the hybrid electric system and the internal combustion motor. And you may have been listening to this car, just how otherworldly it sounds. I'm going to do something that I've done a few times in these sim videos, and I'm going to shut up for a little while and let you enjoy the sounds of the Porsche 919 Hybrid. So we'll do a couple laps, just no commentary, and I'll come back in a bit. Well, that was a couple sloppy laps and a trip through the GT cars, courtesy of me. You can leave your tips in the jar that has been provided to you by your flight attendant. Ah, good lord. I was trying to make a joke as I came back, and then I immediately screwed up the corner. I had all my braking and gearing down properly, and then I go and screw it up. Well, this hasn't been the most interesting race, that's for sure. I'm hoping that they get the update out for Assetto Corsa in regards to the multi-class racing very soon, because not only will that mean the Audis and Toyotas will be here, but it also means that we can have a really proper race. And let me just throw this out there. We need to BOP the Porsches. Not the 919s, but these 2017 911s. Why are they so far out in front? Especially because the Ferrari in qualifying. Well, I guess the Ferrari did such a good lap, he got BOP'd in qualifying by doing a P1 lap. As the Porsche tries to pass me back on the inside. And we don't need that, no thank you. And we come up behind the other 2017 911 as I absolutely attack the curbs. Down the back straightaway. We're on lap 15. We've got a few laps to go. We'll probably catch the lap traffic one more time. But I will say it is nice to be able to put together a multi-class race in a game where you can choose the opponents and even choose their names. I hadn't realized that in my first Assetto Corsa video, and I said, boy, all this game needs is the ability to choose your opponents. And it turns out they already had it in the game. You just have to go to the championships segment of the menu. Unfortunately, it's bugged, and you can't actually save what you do. So if you do a championship and you shut off your console 3 races in, it will not save anything. Not your AI settings, not your cars, not your point standings, nothing. You have to go back and redo everything, which is always fun. But I don't know why they haven't patched that. Probably because they had such terrible trouble. Oh, good lord, really? Such terrible trouble patching everything to begin with that they're just not going to bother. Good on you, Assetto Corsa. Stay the course, my man. It's amazing how much you use first gear. It's probably because I don't have I have not played with the setup at all. When I tried to do the Nürburgring video yesterday, I worked with downforce and gearing, but for Austria, did not do anything. This is the default setup on the car, and I'm trying to shake it apart right now by doing some off-roading. I definitely should have slowed down more for that corner. I could have said that about every corner on this lap, because I don't think I've done a proper corner once. Now, let's see if we can string together a clean lap here. Well, what I'm doing is, I'm braking where I was for qualifying, but I've locked the tires up incredibly too much. And that means, of course, that the grip levels are not what they used to be. Of course, what I don't want to do is do what I was doing when I was battling with Hartley, which is drive like a grandma and brake too early, and that is not a very exciting video. So I brake way too late once again. Really like the front tire up that time. And that was probably for sure a flat spot. And in fact, I kind of feel it vibrating a little bit on the controller when I go through the corners now. So I definitely flat spotted a tire, because that's a thing you can do in this game. But I guess I'll go through a few other settings on this car, which is pretty cool, just based upon Assetto Corsa. what you can and cannot do. So you can adjust the brake bias, which I probably should have done from the start. I'm going to send some braking to the rear. As you can see, I'm weaving like a drunken sailor. Whoa, as we get way out wide. Because I've got to correct course while driving the car. Oh, and I've ran it out of fuel. Oh dear. I've ran the car out of fuel. Oh dear. I did not know I was going to need to do a pit stop in this race. Oh dear. Oh dear. That is not good. Well, thank Christ this thing's a hybrid. Because we're now right on battery life. Holy smokes. Okay. So, we have to literally limp the car back on battery life. And boy, howdy, do I not want to kill the battery. So we're going to go on the charging mode. Oh, this is terrible. I don't know if I'm going to make it back because I'm out of battery life now. Well, the car is still running, albeit not very fast. Oh, this is unbelievable. I was wondering why the car just suddenly cut off. Oh, good lord. I'm dead. I'm dead in the water. Oh my god. Well, that was unexpected. Perhaps that is a really big sign about what's going to happen to the LMP1 class in the future. Oh dear. Oh dear. The Porsche has quit on me. Well, actually, I quit on the Porsche because I wasn't smart enough to fill her up with gas.